Добрый день, меня зовут Сергей Котраков, архитектурно-строительный портал «Ради дома Про». Я очень рад представить вам Джона Херберта, генерального секретаря Всемирной ассоциации DIY-ритейлеров. Это глобальная ассоциация, которая объединяет более 200 компаний, участников в 75 странах мира и более 30 тысяч магазинов. В этом году Джон был специальным гостем DIY форума, и мы очень рады, что он с нами сегодня здесь. Hello, John. Thank you for joining us in this studio. You are head of the Global DIY Retail Association. So my first question is pretty obvious. Is there now a global home improvement market, or would I rather speak of the number of local markets with their leaders and their special features?
Yes, is it being translated? Or are you translating?
It will be, but not now.
Yeah, we represent all the major home centers in the world. So altogether we've got 214 members of the largest companies globally, operating in 74 countries with over 30,000 stores and with about 1.4 million employees. The aim of the network is to improve people's homes wherever they are. So people from Japan are learning from the Europeans, the Americans are going to Asia, and everybody's looking, and I think the main thing, a feature of our organization is that we really passionately want to improve the people's homes. That is the main aim of our organization.
Okay, so this is the global market then. And what are the main trends and the main challenges home improvement market is facing now over the globe?
Well, first of all, the major trend in the world is the internet and the online sales. It is changing the face of retailing globally. And as the younger generation come through, they're going more and more on the internet, buying online, and the stationary stores are going to be less visited in future. We believe the retail space that we have in the world, and particularly in the more developed countries, will be reduced. But I believe that the internet will enrich people's lives, gives people a much more wider variety. The whole face of retailing will be changing. You'll be having showrooms where you can go and spend time and relax and to look, and there'll be a joy to visit with very skilled people. And on the other side, you will see digital rooms or areas where you can go to buy on the internet. The second major challenge is attracting the right people to work in retailing. Retailing is a fascinating industry, and I think sometimes it's undervalued by the people. The people like me, and I've spent many years in retailing, we just love going in stores, we like retailing, and that is going to change. The other change generally is that I think people are moving for more quality. They're looking for better quality in their homes. And it can't be better seen than you see today in MosBuild. And I've been very impressed. I go to all the major trade fairs in the world. In May I'm going to America, in October I'm going to Shanghai, then I'm going to go to Japan, then I'm going to go to France and to Germany. But the MosBuild that I've experienced in the last 2 years has been unbelievable. The innovation, the quality, the standard, the enthusiasm, the many visitors. I would personally place MosBuild today, from my last 2 days visiting, as being the leading trade fair of its kind in the world. I would go as far as that. It is quite brilliant, and I'd be very impressed.
Thank you. And what is special about Russian home improvement market, Russian DIY market?
Well, I remember when they first came, there was European companies came here, and now you've got Russian companies as well operating. And we have 4 Russian companies who are members of ours. And when I see the way they've developed and their innovation, and they are really catching up. They were miles behind anybody in Europe before, but not any longer. They're learning rapidly, they're hungry, they look and see what's happening in the best in Europe or in America, and they're copying the ideas. So it is still very much a developing business, I think. I think the increases going forward in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be wonderful. It's going to be immense. Hopefully the economy and everything that goes with it is going to be also improved. But I think the quality of people's homes that I've seen, and what I've seen here in the last 2 days, I think you're going to see a major improvement in the home. You see, in this age of the internet, in the age of, where people have less communication with each other, I think the home is going to be more important. And what is nicer than a lovely home? To sleep in a wonderful bed, to go in a lovely bath, to have a nice room to relax in, to have a wonderful kitchen. So these are the things that, for me, are the quality of life. Not the riches and the yachts and all the other things, but the home. To really have a wonderful home, I think that's going to develop, and you see that here with the spirit that I found while I've been here in Moscow.
I see. Thank you. You've mentioned several Russian retailers. Indeed, we have them, but what we see over the recent years is basically the consolidation of the market. Yeah, we see that many small retailers they can't compete with such companies as Leroy Merlin, for example. Is it a global trend, and is there any chance for the small retailers to survive?
There is a wonderful chance for the small retailers to survive, and I shall tell you why. The most developed country in the world in DIY is America. And I was in America. I was the president of the Home Depot for the West Coast of America, for California, Colorado, and Texas. And Home Depot and Lowe's dominate the market. But there is a company called Ace Hardware. They've got 4,800 stores in America, and they're part of the Ace Hardware organization. So I think the key going forward is that, yes, the largest can dominate, but the smaller companies should join or form, maybe it is already created, an organization like we have in Germany, which is Hagebau, which you have in America like Ace Hardware, where these smaller companies, so my name is John Herbert, so it's John Herbert's hardware store. It belongs to Ace Hardware, but it's mine. And I know the community, I know the people, and these stores are still having the same amount of growth as the Home Depot. So do not be frightened by these big companies. The quality generally of the people who own the businesses are much more passionate in their business than they are as a manager of a large organization. So I think from this, because you own it, you can do what you want. It's your money, it's your investment. I think this offers many opportunities, and to make sure you're looking after your people. I think one of the things where I feel that Russia has been a little bit behind compared to my experience, that if you're working and you've got 500 employees, you must really look after those 500 employees. They're very, very important. I've been with senior managers in Russia who don't speak to their people. Oh, it's awful. You must look at everyone. Every single employee must go home on a night and say, I am important to my company. He must feel it and everything. Because the productivity of somebody who identifies himself with a company, who passionately works for that company, is it'll double your people because of it. So the opportunities are in people, the opportunities are in buying groups, And don't be frightened by the big buying groups. It is a cycle. I know they've been dominating the market, but I think over the years it will change and it will balance itself out. The big boys, the big companies will live well, but also the smaller ones will also live well, providing they follow the market, they are passionate in their business, they respect their employees, and if they're in a very professional organization, they've got a very good future.
Thank you. Let's hope that we'll use these opportunities and the small companies, they will share these values and eventually survive. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Small is beautiful.
Small and beautiful.